body, speech, and mind held in perfect oneness. I send my heart along with the sound of the bell. May the hearers awaken from forgetfulness and transcend all anxiety and sorrow. Ba nghiệp lắng thanh tịnh, gửi lòng theo tiếng chuông. Nguyện người nghe tỉnh thức, vượt thoát nẻo đau buồn. Brothers, sisters, how are you today? Welcome to our weekly Friday meditation session. Today is September 23rd, 2016. One day there was a group of young people, young men, young ladies. They get together as a group. So they went into a forest to have a picnic. And then in that group, there was a young lady. So what after a picnic, and they play soccer, they play volleyball, and there was a lady who took some of valuable things from her friends in the group, and she ran away. So after the game, they came back and they realized they lose some of their stuff. So they all wandering around and looking for that young girl who stole things from the group. So after they running around, and they met the Buddha, who was sitting and practice meditation. And they stopped in front of the Buddha and they asked, Teacher Gautama, do you see a young lady who just run around here and are hiding us? And then the Buddha asked, why you want to looking for that young girl, young lady? And they say that because she took our stuff. She is a stealer. The Buddha said, instead of wondering yourself, why don't you all sit around me and let me ask you a question? And they all sat down and the Buddha asked, let me ask you a question. Instead of looking for that lady who took your stuff, and looking for yourself, which one is important? And they keep quiet for a minute or 2 minutes, and then they answer, maybe looking for ourselves is more important than looking for a girl who just ran away. When we think we need to looking for something, and do we know that if sometimes we're unable to find that anymore? Instead of that, we're waiting for looking for something, and the more we're looking for, but we cannot achieve, we cannot get it, and the more we get angry. And if we're able to spend some time to calm ourselves, and looking here means finding ourselves, and to realize what do you need and why you need that. And do you really need that? And maybe you can help yourself to have some answer, and it may help you to calm yourself, and then you start to slow down and you can let it go instead of looking for. Because some of the things we're unable to looking for. And we never know our capacity. We never know our self. Then we may not know how to achieve it. Let's say I want to have a good mark in my school, in my study. But we're just losing ourselves in taking time to study. We may spend a lot of time hanging around with friends, shopping. We at the bar, at the club, at casino. We don't have time for studying. Then how can we have good mark as we expect? So because we're losing ourselves, we don't know this is what we want. But the point is, how can I do something in order to have what I want? So the wanting is fine, but once we lose ourselves, we don't know what to do, and how to do, and when to do, or who to do, then we may have nothing. One day there was a young monk who asked his master, "Master, what does people fear the most?" And the master asked him again, asked him back. The master asked, "Then what do you think? What do you think? What does people fear the most?" And the student said, "Maybe loneliness. I'm fear to be alone." The master said, "No. How about misunderstanding? No. How about despair? No. How about suffering? I'm afraid to be suffer. No." And the student asked them, "Master, what does people fear the most? What do people fear the most?" And the master said, "Losing yourself, losing ourselves." Why? Because the loneliness, the suffering, the despair, the misunderstanding, they are all the shadow of your unmindfulness. Because if you are mindful enough, you understand the fact of it, then that will not make you fear, or lonely, or sorrow, or complain. Because we don't dwelling, we are not mindful enough to accept things as they are, then what happened? Many suffering come from there. So once you see it, this is the fact. This is supposed to be like this. And then what happened? You don't lose yourself to running, to looking for to complain, but rather than you will be accepted. Once we lose ourselves, let's say when we're angry, and we do not know that we are angry, what happened? We may say something. We may say something very wrong, and that may damage the relationship between us and others. And then when you awake, you regret about that. Why I say that? It's too late. So the more you're angry, the more you need to find some time to come back and calm yourself down. Because once you lose yourself, your mindfulness, you lose yourself, who you are, you may say something very wrong, and it doesn't fit with your situation. Let me say that, let's example, if I am a monk, okay, and what the expectation from others for the monk? Nice, calm, always smile, relax, and very stable. But if someday I get angry, I lose my mindfulness. I don't know that I am a monk. And I just follow my anger. I explode along with my anger. I may say a lot of wrong things. And after that, I will regret. People will judge, as a monk, how can he do that? How can he say that? So once we lose ourselves, then we lose what happened, our situation, our practice. As a president of a country, as a teacher, as a boss, as a supervisor, we have to be very mindful on where we are and who we are in order to express something. One day there was a monk who was standing on the top of the hill and he declared, very happy, I am a winner, I am a winner. And on the way back there was a king who just joined the war and he victorious for that. And he very happy. He said he thinks he is the king, he is the most beneficial. And how come there is someone who can declare I am a winner? So the king asked him, Master, what did you win from? And who did you win from? And the monk said, I win myself. Because I have attached so many things and today I'm able to let go all of that. I'm able to forgive. So I am able to overcome. So I realize I am the real winner. So then, same thing. We all have desires. Even we are a monk, a monastic, or just a lay person. But as a human, we still have desire. And there's nothing wrong for desires. But once we lose ourselves, we do not know who we are. We just follow up with the desire. We may get into the negative desires. Let's say I'm thirsty. I'm thirsty. I want something to drink. So wanting something to drink is already a desire. But desire is positive. This is the need. This is the need for our daily life. Drinking, eating. When I see a jacket, I know, I like it, I want it. But with mindfulness will help you to have enough. You have a desire, but just for enough for your need. But you will not overcome what you need. Let's say somebody, one day there was a lady, a couple who want to buy me a jacket with the real leather. And I said, no, as a monk we cannot use that. They said, it's okay, it's warm. I said, there are a lot of more things, a lot of other things that appropriate for a monk to wear. Or if somebody come, I remember 10 years ago, there was a man who go back to Vietnam for business, and he doesn't need his car anymore. He offered me very luxury vehicle, and I refused. I said, if I drive this car, even you don't need it, but maybe people don't know about that. They may say, oh my goodness, a monastic drive a very expensive vehicle. So if I lose myself, I may accept that vehicle. And then many problems after that desire. So why we do meditation? Just to calm ourselves and we can stop right in front of something we want. Right in front of when we almost get into a negative. So there's nothing wrong that we want something. But we should know who we are in order to get something appropriate for our situation. As a monastic, we need a jacket, we need a shoes, we need something. This is something very daily use. This afternoon there was a businessman who came and visited me. We first met. He's from some Asia country. And he said, do you allow to laugh as a monk? do you allow to smile? Do you allow to joke? I said, why not? So before, when I walk him to the door, I just want to say, you know what? Buddhist practice is to turn you to become a real human, not to turn you become a rock. As a real human, you have feelings, you have emotions. But with mindfulness, with the practice, you know how to manage your emotion. Even something you so exciting, but you cannot act like like a normal person. You just jump and react. You know how to manage. Or sometimes you face something very anger, but as a normal person, they can explode your anger. But as a monastic, you know how to manage your anger. We all need to do shopping, but the one who don't know the budget, they may overspend. But with the one who know about the budget, they will good manage on their budget. So what is the practice here? When we always able to come back to ourselves, then we will know how to manage everything. And then you can fit. There was a very famous Chinese monk who immigrated and settled his monastic life in Taiwan when he was young. And when he shared with us, and he said that when I was a monk at my young age, I don't have, because at that time the country is very unstable. Many different wars happen, year to year. I have to travel everywhere in order to find a way to practice, to find a way to settle my life. And because of all of that, now I can fit myself in all situations. Sometimes you have to face in a situation, a place, or a people which you very uncomfortable. Maybe you don't like this. Why you have to do this? But if you do not know how to come back to yourself, this is the challenge, this is the training, then you will not learning anything. So if you come back to the present moment, come back to yourself, and you can remind you, this is the training. And because you know this is the training, you can easily overcome many obstacles. Sometimes you study and you graduate from this, you have a degree for this, but when you get into your real life, you do some job, nothing related to what you learn. Is that happen to us sometimes? But what happened? Life is the whole text for us to learn, if you are mindful enough. When I was a young monk, as a novice, I am very easy to get angry. I have a hot temper. And I'm willing to stand up and show that I am totally disagree with this. One day there was a man who came to visit, and I don't like that man at all because he think he is he is a businessman. He is a wise person and he donates a lot, so he expects people to respect him and honor him when he come. So the master asked me to make him some tea. And I remember saying, no, I'm busy. So I walk away. So the master, he can explore with me. He can say, you are my student, you have to do this, stuff like that. But the master I can realize he tried to calm himself down. And he stand up and he make his own tea to offer to that man. The master hold that for 1 day, 2 days, and one day I remember at noontime, he came to sit beside me. And he said, 2 days ago you did that. It's very rude, it's not polite. And it's not the way a student should react to their teacher. I am thinking to let it go and forget about this. But I tell you the truth, I already forgive you, but I need to lecture you. I need to tell you this is wrong, so you change yourself. Another time when I express I disagree with what the master did, and you know what he said? When you're in my situation, you know what to do. He doesn't tell me, I'm wrong, I'm right. But he just told me that when I am in his situation, and I'm supposed to know what to do. And this is exactly what happened now. Where you can explode when you are young. But you know what? The more you grow up, the more you mature. The more you grow up, the more you understand about life. The more you grow up, the more you're supposed to become, and this is not the way to behave. Because life is too complicated. It's not exactly as easy as you want. Maybe when you're young, when you were young, you want drink, your mother will offer you a drink. When you want a cake, your mother will offer you a cake. And you thought you are the king. But when you walk into life, you are not a king. You are a servant. You are a laborer. You are the labor of everything. But that labor will bring you into a businessman. You have to start from the very low in order to gain a high position. Is that true? We have to study since we are, play school, kindergarten, and then grade 1 until what happened? University. But when we don't have a job, after we graduate, we're looking for a job that, fit with our study. No job. What happened? Dishwasher, pizza delivery. As long as you have some money to spend for your living. What is your studying for? Living. We study. We said we study so hard. Why? To get a degree. Why you need a degree? To have a good job. Why you need a good job? To get good money. Why you get good money? For living. So as a businessman, still for living. A dishwasher, still living. The point here is not about the degree. The point here, you know who you are in order to live. So I used to meditate and reflect about life. People respect us not because of the degree. People respect us is because of the way we behave, the way we live. Remember last week I shared with you, sometimes life can be successful in a very simple way. Like a young man who looking for a job. On the way he walked upstairs. He saw some garbage. So he just bend himself down and get some garbage, put in the bin. He get a job. Life sometimes successful in a very simple thing like that. You know, your problem or your misunderstanding, sometimes you can be solved easy just by one conversation. And to tell you the truth, I used to say that I start to work with the community since I'm 17. And you know, as a young monastic, we have a lot of disagree with many things, many people around. But after many exploring like that, and I realized nothing that I gain, but what I gain? More enemies instead of friends. Because you just explore, this is who am I? And you think this is good. No, it's not good. But you never accept this is wrong. Why? Because you still have a lot of temper in you. You have a lot of energy. So like, let's example, when you are healthy, and then we walk out and the mother will say, put your glove on, wear warm. Mom, I'm okay. But the more you get older, what happened? Nobody to tell you to do that. You know. You know your health condition now. And this is what happened to me now. So to tell you, my life, what I practice from, real things that happen to me every day, more than from books. I read books, but not much. But what I learn from, real life. Every day, I have some new things that happen to me and I learn from that. Sometimes people try to lecture me. And in me, something raise up. I'm a monk. I know what to do. Sometimes that raise up in me. But after that, I come back to my room and I reflect. Why they say that? Maybe we have done something, and maybe the idea is something for us to learn. And I tell myself, I need to practice more. Because sometimes I attach to my situation, to the fame I have that I am the abbot, I'm a monk. So this is what we call come back to yourself. The more you come back to yourself, the more you're able to take care for yourself. And when you're able to take care for your anger, for your disagreements, then you're helping yourself, but you're helping others too. You make people more easily to dealing with you. They don't have to think, too much before they deal with you. The one who know how to come back to themselves and manage the anger, they give people around them, more easily before they want to come to talk to you. If you're not the one who easy to talk with, they have to think too much how to put things together before they can talk with you. And this has happened to me too, because sometimes I know a lot of people, very hard to deal, very hard to talk with. And before I want to come to that person, I have to put things in order to myself. How can I find a good time to talk with them? How can I express this to them? And sometimes we tire with that, right? And then what happened to me? I learned and I said to myself, so I know then I learn how to be easy so people don't feel headache the same as me right now. Because sometimes I feel headache when I need to deal with someone. So what we want, then try to do the same to others. So when we meditate or you practice Buddhism, Doesn't mean to turn us to become a rock, a tree, that we have no feelings. We just sit and, we so cold with all situations. That's not right. But to turn us, to make us to become a real man, a real person, a real human. When we're angry, we know we're angry. Knowing angry is mindful on your anger, but not enough. Then what do you practice to taming your anger? This is what we call completely mindfulness. When people hear the word mindfulness, and then they explain, when you drink, you know that you are drinking. When you eat, you know that you are eating. When you walk, you know that you are walking. And people will say, oh, then when I drink wine, alcohol, I know this is alcohol. This is mindful enough. It's not enough. When you know this is alcohol, then the more you drink, the more you get sick. So mindfulness will tell you further, deeper, this is alcohol, this is sick. So when you are playing, when you are, sleep late, you are not mindful enough that you have school tomorrow. You are not mindful enough that you have something to do tomorrow. And the movie is so interesting. You keep watching, and tomorrow you sleep in and you don't have enough time to wake up early. You remember when you dip into this, and everything will be delayed. Let's example, when you have a flight, you know your flight depart at what time, and you have to be out of, on the way to the airport at what time you arrive there, you already set up like that. Then why can we do that same thing in our daily life? It's okay. If we don't have time, we say, let's skip meditation tomorrow morning. And then one day you say that, second day you say that, for a whole month you don't have even a morning. It's not a sin. It's not a sin. But that can show you don't know how to manage your time and your daily practice, your routine. When you go to a restaurant for a wedding, they don't bring everything, all the dishes at once, right? What is the first course, second course, third course, and the last course is stir fry rice, fried rice and fried noodles is the last one, because that will make you full, and the rest appetite. Same thing. We have to put things in order. So to me, according to the Buddha's teaching, Buddhism is not a philosophy, but it's a training for us to live our daily full and meaningful. You can skip first day of practice, second day of practice, then maybe when you add up for your whole year, 365 days, you don't even show up for the practice even 5 days or 10 days. Nobody knows that. But you should know that. How much time you have for yourself to do this and that. Because this has happened to me a lot of times. I have, to do something, but someday I'm so lazy, I just let it go. And when it's come to the final, I have to rush. And every time like that, I sit down and I ask myself, why don't I do it earlier? And then I will have a promise. I will try to do it earlier next time. And then next time I repeat the same. So we are the one who's supposed to know us more than anyone else. Even your teacher, your parents, sit beside you and push you to do something. But if you are not willing to do, you are not wholeheartedly doing it. But people waste their time to pushing you. And then you also waste your time to get anger back because they are pushing you. So the best is you should know what you want and you just go ahead and do what you need to do. So why mindfulness so important? Because mindfulness will help us to live happily, freely. You are free from blaming. You are free from, anything else. Because if you don't do it right, lots of things will come. People judging you, people will blaming you, and this happened, that happened, and sometimes you also blaming yourself. But if you don't want it, you just do it when it's very early, when it starts. Usually we like to do a big cleaning rather than tiny cleaning. If we know how to clean a tiny mess, when it's very beginning, then never happen. So when we do exam, after we solve all the problems, before we hand in, if we still have a minute, what happened? We'll come back and double check. There's no rush for you to hand in. When you do exam, the teacher gives you an hour to do exam. Even when you're done, you still sit there and wait. Why you need to rush? And then what happened? Don't do, you find something easy, you do it first. You come back with the hard one after. At least you get all the good marks from the easy one. Is that true when we do exam? Practicing the same. Whatever you can do it now. And then when you have all the simple one you done, the hard one, not a problem. So practicing exactly what happened every day when you do exam, when you dealing with all your school things. Exactly when you're practicing Buddhism. You need to double check before you hand in. Make sure you add it right, you divide it right. We can sit down and, do quick all the numbers. But after that, we need to sit down and double check. Before we're doing something, we must double check. Before I go to bed, I used to walk down in the kitchen to check all the stove, make sure they turn off. I check the door, make sure it's locked. I check, every day, every time after my travel, where I check first? That area. Where we plug in for the translation system. Because sometimes people use it and they forgot to unplug. Sometimes I come back on Wednesday, Thursday, still on. And the machine, the very hot. So after I come back from my travel, I bow the Buddha and I walk this area and double check. If people forgot to unplug, I will unplug and open that box to so all the hot can release. I always do that every night. Very rarely, someday I really tired, then I don't do, but usually I will make time to walk around the temple once. And not because I'm afraid to lose something in the temple, but this is also a training for myself. I need to double check. Try my best to double check before I talk. So remember, when you do something for someone, don't think you do for them. You do it for yourself. When I serve someone very late at night, like this early morning, about 5 o'clock in the morning, a lady who very suffering about the conversation between her and her daughter. And she called me very early because she tried to hold for the whole night, and she wait until early morning to call me. Even 5 o'clock still early, but it's better than 3 and 4 and 2. And after 30 minutes we talk. I can hear her voice more soft because I have talked to her, I listened to her. And then she say, "Oh Thầy, thanks for your listening, thanks for your time, thanks for your help." But actually, at the time I listened to her, I don't feel that I'm helping her, but I'm helping myself. I'm helping myself that I would, sometimes maybe we will say, "This is my sleeping time." But you train yourself. So usually, how can I, continue to work and work like that? Because most of the things I do, I don't think that I do for others, but these are all for myself. And when I know that who is myself, I am part of the community. If she is happy, I play my role. Because as a monastic, why you become a monastic? Because you want to turn your life into something for others. And you see that your life is not waste. So when you turning yourself and you realize for many days you live wrong, doesn't mean you damage your life. Once you realize you have lived wrong, then you will try your best to live right from now. This is what we call reflecting and transformation. When you reflect yourself and you realize it's wrong, do not damage yourself, don't kill yourself, don't do anything. But you should take good care for yourself, and from now on, you use your time, your life more correctly. And this is the positive transformation. Sometimes people realize they have done so much wrong things for life, and what happened? They kill themselves. It's not good. It's not the way to solve the problem. If you realize that for 20 years you have used your body wrong, your time wrong, and now you still have time to use it right. That is what we call mindfulness. The mindfulness of living, mindful living. So come back to yourself. Very important. If you don't come back to yourself to see, and what happened? The sorrows will come to you and affect you a lot. And remember, the sorrow, the suffering, the loneliness, the argument, those are all the shadow of your unmindfulness. When you are mindful enough, another shadow will come, happy, reflecting. So once inside is not happy, the shadow also not happy. So that's why in the Amita Sutra, they explain and they try to tell us what happened in the Pure Land. And this is one of the describing. In the Pure Land, there was a big lotus pond. And many lotus bloom in that pond. If it's blue, will shine out the blue light. If it's yellow, or radiance with the yellow light. If it's white, then you will see the light, the white as the light. Is it red? You will see it red. What is that explanation mean? The lotus is us. The light is what happened. The reflecting. It's the shadow. If you're happy, people can realize you're not happy. If you are not happy, people also can realize you're not happy. So the suffering will disappear if you know how to come back to yourself and you take good care for yourself happily. So you don't have to worry or to be afraid. I am afraid to be lonely. Yes, if you are afraid to be lonely, then you can do something so you don't feel lonely anymore. Because you know that right now you have a lot of friends around. How can we tell we have friends? If you still receive the message from the text, you receive small gift from your friends, you receive phone call from your friends, you receive New Year's card from your friends, all of that will tell you still in their heart. If one day nothing come to you anymore, then you know what happened. So that's why when we meditate, we sit quietly down and we calm ourselves and we reflect. So the Buddha asked the question, looking for a girl or looking for yourself, which one is important? That lady already gone. And let's say if you can cut her, what happened? But if you lose yourself, many suffering can be happen. If you come back to yourself, many happiness can be happen. If you have lot of angry argument between you and your friend, and when we tell to someone, we always, bring all the positive and the right to us. And then you sit down and you reflect why we have argument. And we find the root of it. So the master also tells the student, what people fear the most is we don't know who we are. Once we don't know who we are, we can do a lot of wrong things. If we know that we are a monk, then we will live as a monk. If you know you are a married man, a man who married, then you will live your life as a man who married. So the wedding ceremony will inform who we are. So we live exactly as who we are. We try not to do something opposite. Yesterday, there was a lady who called me and said, Thay, you know what? I'm happy most of the things from my husband. But one thing I don't like about him, that he doesn't practice meditation. So only one thing I'm not happy about him. And he said, and he asked me, do you have any idea how can I push him to do meditation? And I said, now I can have an answer for you. How can I push you to let go of that attachment? You see what I mean by that? You ask him, just take a little bit of more time to do this and you will be happy. Then why don't you ask yourself, how about let me take a little bit time of let go of this attachment? So when people ask the Buddha, when I do meditation, what do I gain? The Buddha said, when you do meditation, you lose everything. And then that man surprised. Why lose? You lose your anger, you lose your ignorance, you lose your afflictions. You don't gain anything. You lose. You lose all the negatives. But when all the negative absence, what happened? Positive. But you don't have to declare this is positive. So when you come enough, you don't have to declare, I am a Buddha. Nobody declare, I am the Buddha. But once you can live, totally with this awakening, then you are the Buddha. Life is only two things. When you lose this, that is happened. It's natural. When I don't eat meat, that means I'm vegetarian. So people ask me, Thầy, are you somebody they don't know about? They said, are you full vegetarian? I said, no, I'm not. I'm vegetarian, but I eat every single day. I'm not a whole life vegetarian. Every day I wake up, I just know this is the day of vegetarian. I don't declare I'm a whole life vegetarian. I'm daily vegetarian. So when you remember, you don't have to put in front of you, what do I gain? But remember, the more you lose all of that attachment, then things can appear. Tomorrow we will have a mindfulness day. So I hope to see you, some of you tomorrow. Thank you for your listening. Please do some massage.